The church was once at the heart of most communities in the UK, but with modern life seeing more people walk away from organised religion, how are places of worship staying relevant? And why is it important to keep these old buildings maintained? Our reporter Richard Stringer went to a church in Havant to see how they are restoring the faith.
It's a common sight across our region. Old churches with scaffolding climbing the exterior. But for St Faith's Church in Havant, the renovations to the building are just the start of how it's continuing to cement itself into the community around it.
Well, you caught us at a really dramatic moment for St Faith's, because just suddenly all sorts of projects that we've been working on for the last year or more have all come together around the same time. We've got an organ in pieces because that's being restored back to its Victorian glory. We've got scaffolding all over the church because we're being rewired, replacing 1960s wiring with brand new energy efficient LED lights. Today we've got clock faces being returned to the church, having been taken away for restoration, and indeed a man on a scaffolding right up there now painting away so that our clock faces are renewed. And at the same time we're just a few days away from opening a new cafe which will be aimed at young children and their parents, as well as the wider community, but somewhere that parents with small children can feel welcome and really wanted within this community. The church has been at the centre of this town for, well, at least 1,000 years, and we think probably a lot longer. It is a glue that kind of binds this community together. It's the place that people come for those special occasions. It's where we celebrate remembrance as a town community. But on a day-to-day basis, it's also the place that people come if they feel lonely or they just need some quietness and some space to be alone and prayerful. In this oasis of a churchyard all around us here, a wild space in the middle of an industrial and suburban town that is, I think, still the very much heart of this community. We don't just turn up on a Sunday morning and sing some hymns. We're engaged day in and day out with the life of this community. Without old buildings like this, communities lose their sense of focus. These buildings help us remember who we are and where we came from. The church becomes and is the historic heart, the touchstone for its community.
So, with the building work well underway and the church integrated with modern life, what's next for St Faith's?
You'll never stop with a building like this, because there will always be ideas, there will always be things that need maintaining, but perhaps more interestingly is what we want to do with the inside of the church. We want to make, again, the church the heart of the community by doing things like looking at the way we use the internal space of the church. Can it be a place for art exhibitions and for community concerts and gatherings? The church serves the whole community. Belief is something we hope that people might develop while they're with us, but there's no pressure. We want people just to come and be together. We want them to explore what it means to be a community together. So come along and get involved.
Well, it certainly seems that the future of this church is pointing in the right direction. This is Richard Stringer for That's Solent.